Hello and welcome back to Paragon. Today I'd like to talk to you about the elephant in the room. Actually, it's not an elephant. It's more like a super skinny action film wannabe cyborg dude called Twinblast. That's right, he named himself Twinblast. He's aged 4. Not too long ago, this man roamed the lanes of Agora as the self-proclaimed god. He was super OP. Now he's super weak. Sounds similar to anyone? She was then reworked and had a moment of returned glory, and then she was super irrelevant. Yeah, similar, right? Anyway, the dude is a ranged carry type. He shoots physical projectiles, he shoots them fast and they hurt. That's the idea anyway. Let's cover why he's horrible right now and that none of those things I just said are true. Also, yeah, he's the worst carry in the game. Basically, most carries start to come online around the 25 to 30 CXP mark. By this time, they have a few key items that allow them to do some respectable damage and DPS. Their output is relevant, and if they get to the CXP before the other characters in game, they can be very, very deadly. This is expected of a carry. They farm and get lots of last hits to get to that nice CXP faster. Sparrow, Murdoch, and Grim are able to farm fairly respectively, using cast tokens, Madstone gems, strike tokens, and the like to help them get those last hits in the early game faster due to how little damage each attack does without those items. Then you have Twinblast, using his twin pistols that shoot healing water out of them. No, I'm kidding, but holy crap, do they do essentially no damage at level 1. It's so crazy. I start with a flashfire piston and a strike token to help with that, but even then, it's still so low, that damage. It takes a lot of practice and timing to last it effectively on any carry, and as a carry, you need to get most, if not all, last hits you can. So his obvious disadvantage in this form is quite big. He can't get last hits as good as the other carries. It makes him farm slower than the rest. It's horrible. So, while Twinblast is farming slower than the rest, and they come online at 30 card points. You remember how I was saying carries come on at about 30 card points? Well, Twin comes online at about 40 to 5 CXP, which is unreal. Like, he farms slower than the rest and has to farm more before he's as viable. Now, don't get me wrong, if you have a 60 out of 60 pointed Twinblast, he's probably going to put out more damage and DPS than most heroes in the game, but he doesn't start doing that much damage, if any at all, until 45 card points. That's 15 card points more than the others. Why is it that he has to do so much less damage compared to the others while also coming online much later? Why not just make him come online about the same time? I mean, I hope that's an easy fix by just increasing his base damage slightly, because it seems like one to me. So that's a big issue with Twinblast. Honestly, I don't even need to say any more than that to explain why he's weak and the weakest carry. But dude, oh, it gets worse. If you somehow didn't know, and I know some of you don't because I see people using it at level 5, Twinblast's ultimate is a bit of a joke. Simply put, when you press it, you move slower and you do less damage. How does that make sense? Well, you fire more for barely any less damage in your normal mode. While you fire more, you do more damage overall. Like, each hit's gonna do slightly less than your ult hit, sure, but you're gonna fire about 3 times in between each ult shot. So you're doing more damage. Meanwhile, you're not actually massively slowed by these big cannons you pulled out and put on your arms, so you're not an easy target. The only reason you'd actually want to press your ultimate is to clear a minion wave quickly because it has AoE. Outside of that, it's just a terrible idea to press this button, and most players don't pick up this ability unless they can't level anything else and are forced to. How bad is that? A character's ultimate, their most powerful ability, is the worst aspect of that character. That is not good at all. He does less damage, and he's easier to kill when he presses this button. Oh, and finally, there's actually something else about Twinblast that's awful, and it leaves him weaker than every other carry on top of everything else. He has one affinity. In the last major rework patch, both Kalari and Gadget were also characters who had one affinity, but in this patch, they were given new affinities. This meant that these two characters no longer had less card choice in their decks than every other character. They weren't just straight up disadvantaged. But then there's Twinblast over there, you know, with his one affinity even now. The only character in game with one affinity. He has less options when building a deck than every single character in the game. Ignoring his lower damage numbers, ignoring his embarrassing ulti, that's a huge disadvantage. And what I'm trying to say here, man, is Twinblast needs help. he really needs help. Like, he's honestly the weakest character in the game outside of Muriel when someone builds Scarab Claws. So he obviously needs a buff of some kind. Now, I will give Twinblast one positive. I'd say he's the best person to have black buff on. He has a dash to get in towards a tower, and he can use it to escape as well, but generally he shoots faster than everyone else in Nitro mode. Overall, he puts out the most hits, which is going to cause the most damage with black buff. He's actually a really good tower killer, and that's the best way to play him currently and try and win. You farm black buff as much as you can, use it to kill towers, inhib, split push late game, sneak tier 2 towers every now and then, even sneak an inhib if you're fast enough. If you die and you get an inhib, it's worth it, man. So you have to be the rat, and no one likes to be a rat, except rats. Damn rats, ratting up the place. Get out of here. Oh, and in that patch we were talking about earlier, Twinblast got a new icon. He went from this basic image of himself to this. What happened to Twinblast? He aged like 25 years and ate like 5,000 Twinkies or some shit like that in that time. His chin is gone, man. It's gone. I mean, don't get me wrong. If the dude wants to eat more, go for it. It's his virtual non-existent life. But damn, dude, this change seems so random. It's like an extra point of cruel hate to Twinblast. Maybe Epic just likes to bully him. So this kind of leaves us in a bit of a sad place and a dark place for Twinblast. He's embarrassing in his current state, but don't worry, friends. A shining light has appeared before us, an angel sweeping down to cast light on the shadow. Arctic posted this on the forums. Twinblast's affinities will be addressed with his rework. Hallelujah, dude. Hallelujah. Praise to Epic, he's being reworked. With this little information, we have two things confirmed. He will no longer be a Fury-only character with limited card choice compared to the rest of the characters. And he will be reworked. That's a big statement, and a scary one actually. In my head, Twinblast needed slightly stronger base damage, a slightly improved dash range, and his ultimate to be worth pressing. It would require a good player to know when to press it, so that they're not interrupted or instantly focused because they're moving slower. The damage output would be more similar to that of Sparrow's awesome ultimate, so you would have a damage increase with no slow, or a big damage increase with the risk and dangers that come with moving slower. Then you give him the second affinity, done and done. But that's not what was said here. The word was rework, not buff. Now remember original Kalari with her powerhouse of a dash ultimate. Her dagger did damage and a bleed but did not have a slow. Her stealth was instant but you'd hear her giggle when she was near you. Well, now she works pretty differently, with a global teleport ultimate now, a more powerful stealth that makes no sound when you're in it, though it does take a moment to enter it, and also the dagger does have that slow attached to it. So these were big changes requiring a different playstyle and even build. So how are they going to change Twinblast? We know he will stay in the carry role, but his ultimate may work entirely different. Could that be rest in peace to the cannons? Maybe he won't even have his dash anymore. Will he have an entirely new skill set? It's possible. We're just gonna have to wait and see. In my head, he's going to be changed in the next major patch, so look out for that. But here's a question. What should his second affinity be? Most think corruption or intellect would suit him, and I think, corruption seems more logical and lore friendly, but I wonder, with cards like Scourging Tails and Scarab Claws and more, would corruption be too good on a carry role? I would say it's entirely possible. So there's a good question. What affinity would you guys like to see on Twinblast? What cards would you love to use with him that you currently can't? I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on all of this, guys. And here's a final hurrah to the thought of a buffed and changed Twinblast. I can't wait to play him again, man. That new skin he got recently, the energized one, it looks so dope and I rarely ever get to use it. For now though, thank you for watching. See you next time, guys.